All right, so with you all who are here, Chief, Night Mage, Lucius, Aaron, any others out there who might be lurking, let's get back to it. Now, our last investigator met with a very brutal end, and it's time to pick up. Maybe we hop over to one dimension over. And instead of Dr. Eleanor Woods, we have Dr. Ellery Woods, who, hey GMV, who is totally a different person in every way. And also won't die this time, right? Come on now. So, this is what we're gonna do. If you weren't here last night, that might even be better than if you were. This will seem fresh. I want to build the character with you, and we're going to go through it. Now, the character does have some starting stats, and I'm going to ask your all's help to put 70 extra points into this character. So first things first, we have Dr. Ellery Woods. We are a professor. Our residence is Arkham, Massachusetts, and our birthplace was Boston. We have a strength of 50, a con of 60, a size of 50, a dex of 60, appearance of 40, education of 80, intelligence of 70, a power of 50. And our sanity looks like it is going to be starting out at 50. Now luck, we will determine our luck with someone out there in chat rolling for it, and I will go over that. We can also see that we have a few skills that are already starting out higher than a starting character would. Anthropology is at 60. Archaeology is at 70. Credit rating is at 60. Dodge is at 50. Fighting Brawl is 45. Firearms Handgun is at 40. Arabic Language Other is 40. Language Own English is 80. Library use is starting out at 40. Locksmith is at 50. Navigate is at 30. Persuade is at 40. Psychology is at 50. And we have survival desert specifically, which is starting at 50. Now, you all out in chat are able to help me put 70 points into this character. Do you want to put 1 point in everything? You can, and it's technically a 1% higher chance to succeed. Do you want to put 10 points into 7 things? 5 points into 14 things? Sierra, hey, real quick, Sierra Echo. Echo. I got what you need. And then we will roll for luck. Now, our stats, these stats above are what they are. The 70 points get to go into skills. So, there should be many of you out there who are able to reply. Sierra Echo, I will start first with you. And quickly, before I begin, there are suggested areas of improvement, but you do not have to take them as maybe something else. So this is saying the following skills could be useful. Anthropology, appraise, archaeology, and you see that some of this is already bumped on our pre-generated character. Anthropology, appraise, archaeology, charm, climb, fast talk, fighting, brawl, firearms, handgun, intimidate, yump, listen, locksmith, navigate, persuade, psychology, spot hidden, stealth, survival, or swim. It does not have to be, it doesn't have to be those things only. We also know our character here. The description of Dr. Ellery Woods, a white man with heavily tanned skin, dark hair, brown eyes, and a short, neatly trimmed beard, wears a newsboy's cap, which looks slightly at odds with his smartly tailored three-piece suit. Fortune favors the prepared mind, is his ideology or beliefs. Significant people, his old friends of the Boston Nine. Ellery may have left his days of crime behind him when he got his education, but you never really leave a gang. Meaningful location, Boston, the city he calls home. Treasured possessions, the research manuscript he's been working on for over a year now. Ellery hopes it will win him academic acclaim. And his traits are that he's inquisitive and ambitious. His gear and possessions, a tailored three-piece suit, newsboy's cap, thin briefcase containing a research manuscript, a change of underwear, and a few essential toiletries. And he has some starting money. Now, with that, Sierra Echo, I'm going to give you 10 points that you can put into this character. You can put all 10 into one skill, or you can split it up. Sierra, with this character in mind, and if you want to go off of knowledge that you've already earned through the death of the first investigator, you can. Where do you want to put 10 skill points in this character? We have 70 remaining, 10 of them are going to Sierra Echo. Chief and GMV and Night Mage, I will call on you next, also with 10 points. Five in dodge and 5 in handguns. All right. 5 there, 5 there. Now, building off of that, GMV, you have 10 points. Where do you want to put 10 skill points? Hi, Tony. You can build off of what's already there, or remember, hi, Iron. If you wanted to put 10 points into sleight of hand, that would take it from 10%, which is the starting point, up to 20. Climb would go from 20 to 30 if you wanted to give him more of a physical skill. So just because it's not filled in doesn't mean that there's not already points that are in it. This is simply what we're starting at in an accelerated fashion. So GMV, you have 10 points to put into this character. What would you like to do with them? All handguns, assuming we have the cash to buy one. All right, now I'll put the 10 points there, but we never fired a gun the first time through. Gun use didn't save us from anything. And you can't get a handgun by putting skill points into handgun. We died, but we also didn't have a gun to use. There was nothing to shoot at. Now, if you want to put all 10 points in handguns, absolutely I will. Is that your final decision? Do you want to take us up to 55? We don't have a chance to buy a pistol, at least not in the opening. Because for some reason you now apparently, but Scannion was on a big murder hobo run last night, so. Now we might be able to acquire one along the way. All right, well, I'll take that as a yes, and let's keep moving along. Chief, you get 10 points to put into a skill. You can improve a skill that's already been improved above a starting point. If you want to make our wealth bigger and better, you can put 10 points into credit rating. If you want to take a jump from 20 to 30, you can do that too. How useful is psychology versus first aid? Psychology is a way to feel someone's intent or mood. It's kind of an empathy or insight in Dungeons and Dragons. It's a way to analyze how someone is conducting themselves in front of you. First aid is, I have a boo-boo, can you kiss it and put a Band-Aid on it and make it feel better? All right, 5 in psychology and 5 in our credit rating. All right, this leaves 40 more points. Night Mage. Night Mage, where do you want to put 10 points? And then Tony, I'll call on you for 10 points, and Iron Chef Lord, I'll call on you. Who else is here? Xbox Aaron, are you still here? And do you want to put the last 10 points in the character? Hey, Wendanope, good to see you. We might have lost Tony. Iron Chef Lord, where do you want to put 10 points? And Wendanope, if you're hanging out with us, I can give you 10 points to put into this character too. Remember, you can add to a stat that's already increased. You want to put 10 in law. All right, so you're going to take us from 5 to 15%, correct? And why law? I'm curious. I have nothing against it. It might come in handy in this adventure for all I know. But why 10 points in law? What are we considering about this character? Is this because of our former criminal? No, we don't have luck right now, Tony. But Tony, if you want to think of where you want to put 10 points, you can, and let me know. From last night? Okay. All right, Tony, where do you want to put 10 skill points? Hey, it's Eat to Surf. Good to see you, friend. been a minute. Tony wants to put 10 points into Spot Hidden, taking us up to a 35. All right. And hello. So, sir, make my day? Well, if I'm to make your day, then welcome to the Hero Zone, an extension of a friendly local game store. Tonight we are getting ready to go through a choose-your-own-adventure using the Call of Cthulhu system to navigate through it. Sir, make my day, and Eat to Surf, and everyone who came over, you are welcome to join us as we're finishing character creation and we're about ready to begin the story. All right, so Tony chose, Iron Chef chose, Chief chose. Oh, thank you. And there's the prize goblet to welcome you. And Sierra and GMV. We have 20 points now to put into our character. Wendanope, you have 10 points you can put into any of the skills that you see here in the central part of the character sheet. You can improve one or many of the skills. If you, let's say you put 10 more points into Spot Hidden, it would go from 35% chance to succeed to 45. If you wanted to take up something like Drive Auto, it's starting at 20. I don't have it filled in. The parentheses are a starting value. So if you wanted to put 10 points into Drive Auto for some reason, that would actually be a 30% for us. So, Wendanope, we have a professor at Miskatonic University, someone who used to be in a crime gang in Boston before being educated, and someone now who's going to go out and go on an investigation on behalf of Miskatonic University. Is there a skill that we currently are good at that you want to improve further? Or do you want to take our listen from 20 to 30? Do you want to take our swim from 20 to 30? Do you want to go, do you want to bring up our credit rating to 70 with 5 points and dodge to 60? Do you want to bring up psychology or something else? What sounds good to you, Wendanope? What is a skill that you think we'd be good at as a reformed criminal turned professor at the mysterious Miskatonic University? We cannot take Cthulhu Mythos, but we can take a cult if you wanted. And that would take us, if you did that, that would take us from a 5% chance to succeed to a 15% chance to succeed. Now, maybe to you, you say, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I don't see that big a difference. But I would rather take us to, from a 55% chance to hit with a handgun to a 60, and put a 5 in Fighting Brawl to bring that to a 50 instead. You make the call on this, Wendanope. But yeah, welcome in, Raiders. Let me give a shout out, as I don't have a mod here, it seems. Eat to Surf. Shout out, Eat to Surf. And another first-time chatter from the Raider. I once had a player in the Ghostbusters RPG put points into the skill Misunderstand Plain English. I don't recommend it. But those are role-playing opportunities. Although that is interesting, that is a skill. Is that some sort of a deception skill where you pretend not to understand what someone told you? By the way, as a tabletop role player, let alone a vendor of them through a brick and mortar ma and pa small business store, I love hearing tales from Ural's tabletops. It was a quirk. 5 in listening and 5 in spot hidden. All right, so spot hidden is going to 40, and listening is going up to 25. All right, so we had Wendanope, we had Tony, we had Iron Chef, we had Chief, and we had Sierra and GMV, and now we have 10 points. We have 10 points left to put into the character. Night Mage, are you still here or no? If not, then what I can do here, Dice Chuck, if Night Mage isn't here, you can allocate 10 points to skills for our Call of Cthulhu character in order to almost complete him before the investigation begins. As I'm not seeing anything from Night Mage, Dice Chuck, where would you like to put 10 skill points in this character? Would you like to increase something that's already been bumped up? Or would you like to do something like take climb from 20 to 25%? Or do you want to allocate it out some other way? Do you want to do you want to put a little bit more cash in our pockets with a higher credit rating? Do you want to take swim from 20 to 25 and psychology from 55 to 60? All right, Dice, you want to put all 10 points into dodge? Or do you want to put not 10 points? Do you want to do 5 and 5? Do you want to do 3, 3, and 4? How do you want to apportion your 10 points? All dodge. All right, dodge goes to 65. All right, now, from the other raider here, Sir Make My Day, are you still here? Because I have a very important task for you. I know you come in on a raid and, oh, I gotta work. Oh, what is this? Gross. We might not have Sir Make My Day. Eat to Surf, are you here? If not, then Dice Chuck, I will give you an extra honor for being not just a raider, first-time chatter, but for staying and being chatty. Surf had to go. Well, it's in the name. All right, Dice Chuck, I want you to chuck some dice now. Oh, hey. Thank you. There's our Drider character. All right, Dice Chuck. In order to generate the amount of luck points our character has, I need you to type exclamation point 3D6. 3D as in doggo, number 6. Whoa. All right, you're breaking reality, Dice Chuck. You rolled a 7 on a D6. What a way to get things going in Call of Cthulhu. Now, Dice Chuck, here in our on our channel, we have Fickle God Favors. Hi, Survival. Fickle God Favors are things that the audience can spend channel points on in order to grant small bonuses or boons to a character. What we're doing for that here is if you want... Hi, Mage. If you would like to use... Oh, okay, yep, working and lurking. Sir Make My Day. Work and lurk, my friend. Thank you for doing so. Yep, thank you, Craigar. Go back into the lurking fog. Thank you for the howdy, the chat activity, and go do your thing. Spend you time, family time, work time, eating, whatever you're doing. So, Dice Chuck, you can use one of the Fickle God Favors. I think we're currently up to 4 that we're floating. to re-roll one of those D6s to see if you can increase the amount of luck that our character will start with. But you as the dice roller make that choice. Do you want to use a fickle god's favor in order to yeah, so you currently have 11 times 5 means that we would be starting with 55 luck points. If you choose to use a fickle god's favor, then you can re-roll 1d6 and replace, I presume, one of those 2s. Would you like to do that? All right. Dice Chuck, exclamation point, 1d6. And let's mark off a fickle god's favor. It looks like we're up to 5 due to contributions from others. All right, you go from 2 to 3. So it's not much of an improvement, but you know what? Instead of 55 points, we're starting with 60 luck points. Now, why luck is important in this game? Let's say that we needed to dodge being stabbed, as is something that happens in Call of Cthulhu. And Dice Chuck, I ask you to type exclamation point 1D100. And you do, and you ended up rolling a 69. Well, in addition to being a nice roll, you can choose to spend 4 of our luck points in order to reach 65. Now, the bigger the difference, you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? And as we go through this story, a dice roller, a decision maker, can choose between a fickle god's favor on a percentile roll, which is rolling 1d10 and using that to replace the tens value of the percentile previously rolled, or spending luck in order to achieve a goal, or you can simply let it ride and it is what it is. All right, well, we know our starting gear, we have our money, we have things ready to go. So let's get something kind of watery and haunted sounding for the beginning of our story. And it's time once for another attempt at Alone Against the Tide. So let's get going. Actually, I might just get up and grab a drink real quick, because some of the voices were straining my voice last night. And if you have questions on anything, you're welcome to ask here. Oh, and I can't forget. Let's set the mood. By the way, if the background music is too loud, please let me know. I like providing it for atmosphere, but I don't want to not be heard. And now we begin. The sun sinks low on the horizon as you board the ferry headed across the lake to Esbury. As you set foot on the boat, the ferryman greets you with a wide smile and a cheery wave. He stands by a gangplank as you pass, welcoming the other passengers as he removes his cap to scratch at his balding head. His pudgy figure fills his well-worn suit. He looks a little awkward, but he seems a rather pleasant sort. Leaving the man behind you, you take a seat toward the prow, eyes fixed on your destination. You settle into a seat with your thin briefcase resting on your lap, noticing that the rest of the passengers are likewise getting comfortable for the short trip across the lake. Glancing around, you catch sight of the ferryman entering the cabin. As you sit patiently and wait for the engine to come to life, you listen to the sounds of idle chatter around you. You look out across the water and notice a thin fog beginning to form over the surface of the water as the temperature drops with the approach of night. After a few minutes, you hear the engine sputter into action and feel the ferry lurch forward. The conversations around you continue as the ferryman joins you all on deck. You can't help overhearing most of the talk, though it's surprisingly banal. There are almost a dozen passengers on the ferry. Most of them are simply looking to spend their money during their weekend in Esbury and to enjoy the various shops and leisure activities the lakeside town has to offer. Many of the passengers seem to come from money, as is common in Esbury. You notice a strange look from one of the women in the group. She has a full figure and brown hair and eyes. She seems to be looking you over, admiring your features. Now, we can skip the italicized. This is nice because it prompts you to create your character along the way if you want to do it. We have our character that we're bringing in here. The woman clearly sees something in you that she likes. Perhaps it's your looks or a glint of intelligence in your eyes. She gives you a sly wink before turning back to her companions. You likewise turn your attention to the rest of the passengers. Sitting apart from the general crowd are two men in dark, well-tailored suits, whispering quietly to each other. They have unamused expressions on their faces, as if they don't seem pleased to be here. Perhaps they're on business. Noticing that you're sitting alone, the ferryman approaches you and stands over you with his characteristic smile. You notice he's missing a tooth in the upper left corner of his mouth. His eyes are bright as they light upon you. Well, good afternoon. You look a bit you look a bit lonely there, friend. What brings you to Esbury? More prompting for your character. You mention the passing of a distant colleague in Esbury and how you've been sent by Miskatonic to recover his work and bring it back to the university. The man sighs and nods slowly. Oh, you mean Professor Harris? Real shame what happened to him. Always seemed like such a nice man. Officer Powell says they're still cleaning up the mess at the professor's place. But some of the more valuable bits will probably be at the estate sale tonight, if you're really wanting at it. The man looks down at his hands for a moment, and then back at you as he extends one your way. Anyway, I'm Lance Sanford. Pleased to meet you, but I wish it were under better circumstances, eh? All right. It is choice time. I will pay attention in chat. Should we inquire about Professor Harris? Now, we've been sent out by Miskatonic University to investigate what happened to Professor Harris. There are some things of his research, that hopefully we can find and that we can, I believe, because this was brought up, I might not have, yeah, your investigator's reasons for visiting the town are discussed in the relevant entries. So, we're getting there. Oh no, I lost my place. Hang on. Oh, I should have noted which one we're on. So 12, and 12 takes us to 80. 80 took us to 23. Okay. Do you wish to inquire about Professor Harris? Inquire about Officer Powell? Ask Lance Sanford, the ferryman, about himself? Ask about the estate sale? Or just pass the time waiting to arrive to Esbury? Hi, After Fav. Ideas in chat? So, Dice Chuck wants to ask about the estate sale. Sierra Echo wants to ask about Officer Powell. Ask about Lance, because that would be polite. Alright, well, we have conflicting ideas. I'm going to open up a 1-minute poll. And I want you all to vote in chat. All right, get your vote in. It is now open. Everybody vote. Everybody vote. It's up at the top of chat, unless it's not for you. Influence the story. What would you like to ask about? We're here from Miskatonic. We are here to investigate Professor Harris and the tragic, apparently, event that had occurred. Now, we can be polite and ask about the ferryman, or we could just say, do our thing and wait to cross. It is in a poll. It has 3 question marks as the title. Get your votes in. What do you want to do? Oh, someone please break the tie. 2122. Someone break the tie, please, 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 please. Vote, vote, vote. There's 21 of you, and only 8 of you have voted. Hurry, get your votes in, get your votes in. It can go any way. Come on, 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 come on. Participate. Come on, let's have fun. All right, 4 votes for estate sale, 2 for Harris, 2 for Ferryman Lynn Sanford, 1 for Officer Powell. If things go awry, any of you who didn't vote for this choice can say, I told you so. Well, Sierra, it looks like you died in that adventure. It was a crawling claw that got you, too. All right, let's ask after the estate sale. 66. The mention of an estate sale grabs your interest, and you ask for some more information. Sanford obliges. Amelia Harris is selling off some of her late husband's collection. She could use the money and doesn't really have an interest in that ancient Indian stuff the professor studied, but some folks do. Collectors, academics, that sort of thing. She put the word out not long after her husband died. People have been trickling in for it for the past few days. If you're looking to get your hands on something, it's going on tonight at the dance hall by the pier. Hi, 12-sided. Good to see you. You exchange a few more pleasantries with Sanford before he goes off to finish guiding the boat into port. You pass the time in casual conversation with the other passengers and in observing the scenery. You note the tall pines and the sloping hills along the lake shore around Esbury. These features and the small town beyond are just visible through the growing mist, but squinting helps make them out to your satisfaction. In time, you arrive on the pier at Esbury, grateful to be off the water. You take your first steps onto the pier with the rest of the ferry passengers, trying to get your land legs once again. The passengers still chat casually as they walk off to their destinations. You note one last little flirty wink from the full-figured woman as she struts along confidently behind the women accompanying her, and you feel the two dark-suited men push past you at a brisk pace, nudging you out of their way. Sanford gives you one last wave and a smile as he begins tending to the old rust-stained boat that is his pride and joy. The last light of the sun is fading fast, and the fog is growing thick on the water now. The night is still young, but you would rather not be wandering around in the dark and fog of a town you're unfamiliar with. Taking in your surroundings, you see a sizable crowd jockeying for entrance into a lavish, modern-looking building along the lakeside. A folding sign sits out front, illuminated by a lantern. The words, "Estate Sale Tonight," are written on it in large, bold letters. While this seems to be the main attraction, you could also seek out somewhere to stay for the night and set about your work in the morning. If you have not done so already, calculate... Okay, we've done that already. All right. A 1-minute poll with 3 question marks as the title is going up. Go to estate sale or find a place to stay the night. Oh, to stay. Everybody vote. Click on it now. Come on, you can do it. Participate. You got this. I believe in you all. I believe in the power you all have to spend half a second to click a result on a poll. I will not hold it against you if it somehow is a disastrous decision. I would like you to simply let your voice be heard to participate in this, affect the story to which you're listening. I don't know who votes for what. And no one is getting extra awesome points or my eternal wrath. We have 300 in cash on us, Dice Chuck. All right, 8 of you have decided to go to the estate sale. 2 wanted to find a place to stay. So whoever voted for that 2, if this is disastrous, you can say I told you so. All right, go to the estate sale. We hop off the boat and we head over to the sale. Pushing through the crowd, you make your way toward the estate sale. Judging by the number of people packing into the dance hall, this seems to be quite the event. Most of the people here are well dressed, with conspicuous amounts of jewelry and designer clothing on display. You see a broad-shouldered man in a policeman's uniform standing by the door. He has a scarred yet clean-shaven face and a baton at his side. His brow is furrowed in a serious expression, and he watches the commotion through narrow eyes. As you mingle with the assorted academics and collectors, you notice a few other faces that stand out in the crowd. Most immediately, you spot a man in flowing orange robes with tawny skin. He seems more than a little out of place and is garnering some odd looks from the other guests. Glancing around further, you happen to notice the 2 dark-suited gentlemen from earlier, standing in a corner toward the front of the room, talking to a young dark-haired man in a dated yet elegant long coat. He is of a slight build and has rather sharp features. A thin wisp of a mustache hangs beneath his nose. Most noticeable, though, is the rather attractive young woman standing on stage at the front of the room next to a bespectacled old man. Long black hair cascades down her shoulders, accentuating her pale features and complementing her formal black dress. Occasionally, she and the older gentleman peek at objects hidden beneath white sheets, the sale items waiting to be displayed. All right. I'm opening up a poll. It is titled with 3 question marks. Would you like to mingle with crowd? Would you like to speak to officer? Would you like to approach man in orange? Would you like to talk to dark suited men? Or talk to woman on stage? The poll is open. Vote, 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 vote. It's only open for a minute. Let me know. What would you like to do? There are 5 choices. Would you like to mingle with the crowd, speak to the officer, approach the man in orange, and I believe that this is a rendition over here of that character, talk to the men in dark suits, or talk to the woman in the black dress on the stage? Vote. Get your votes in. There's 22 of you. 4 of you have voted, and there's only 30 seconds. I swear I won't haunt you after I'm dead if you somehow choose a wrong choice. Participate. Have fun. You're here to have fun, right? That's what this place is about. Click a button. It takes half a second. Do it. Do it. Are you clicking? Are you clicking? Click. Participate. All right, with a vote of 4, 2, and 1, 7 of you voted. Approach the man in orange. Okay. You approach the strange man. He seems well-traveled and weary, and his long orange robes are a stark contrast to the fine suits and dresses of the New England financial elite. He seems decidedly out of place. You open your mouth as if to speak and find him staring intensely at you. Make an anthropology roll. All right, dice chuck. Thank you, Oni. I gave you a shout out earlier to get in the investigative mood. I had you on screen a little bit too. Be well, my friend. Dice chuck, and a heretic is lurking too. You need 1d100. Exclamation point 1d100. Lands on a 74. Anthropology is 60. So, dice chuck. You have 3 choices. You can accept failure, and we'll click on the fail option. You can use a fickle god's favor, and we currently have 6 remaining, and that would be roll 1d10 and replace the tens unit of your 74 with the result, if it's better. Or you can spend, it looks like 14 luck in order to auto-succeed. Now, luck doesn't come back. When we use our luck, there's a very small chance of something happening where some luck can come back. But effectively count luck as you have it until you don't anymore. So, your choice. Would you accept failure? Do you want to use one of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where there's 8? There are 8 fickle god's favors currently floating, or do you want to burn 14 luck to auto pass? You rolled the dice, it's your choice. You will accept failure. Okay. You blurt out a greeting, trying to make the stranger feel welcome. His face contorts into a look of disappointment, and the man turns his back on you. You have clearly displeased him somehow, and he wants nothing more to do with you. You have begun gathering information in Esbury. Would you like to interact some more? You may now select another option from those listed. Do not repeat a choice already selected. Once you have chosen 3 options from the list below, or before if you are ready to move on, go to 35. Note that selecting to leave the hall will make you ineligible to make further selections from this list. Alright, it's poll time once more. With 3 question marks, I want to ask you, would you like to mingle with crowd, talk to officer, introduce to dark-suited men, well, I guess introduce to dark suits. Would you like to see woman at stage, or would you like to leave and find a room for the night, you know, like at a hotel or something? 1 minute, please do vote. 1 minute, please do vote. There are now 23 of you watching. It takes half a second. Go to the poll. 3 question marks. Choose. You have less than a minute remaining. Where would you like to go next? Also, I want all of you to please report the bot that is trying to trick you into purchasing viewers. After you vote in the poll, click on the name and the 3 dots. Go to report, spam, scams, bots, bot, next, soliciting chat to buy viewers. Here's the message. Control V and submit report. All right, 7 of you have voted. It's almost over. All right, the winner 4-2-1 is introduce ourselves to the dark suits. See woman on stage as 2 and talk to officer 1. You approach the huddled group and introduce yourself to them, stating that you recognize them from the ferry. The 2 men from earlier appear annoyed at your presence and are visibly irritated. Scram, man, we don't know you. You got nothing to do with us. The 3rd man seems likewise bothered and frowns at your intrusion. They certainly make you feel unwelcome, ignoring you in hopes that you'll leave. The 2 men in suits turn their backs on you. You see the jacket of each suit shift oddly, as if it's ill-fitting. Hi, Professor Lycan. Professor Lycan, I would like you to make a spot hidden roll. Spot hidden is at 40%. You need a 40 or lower. Exclamation point 1D100. A 4 is lower than 40. So, congrats. On a success, we go to 28. You are well traveled enough to know that the 2 men are concealing handguns at their waists. What they could possibly need from them is beyond you, but their hidden weapons and shady nature make you think it isn't good. Before you turn to go, you think you catch a glint of metal from beneath the folds of the young man's coat as well. This man might likewise be armed. Let's see, was that 3? Once you've chosen 3 options. So we talked to the man in orange? Oh, no, wait. That was only 2. Yeah, because then we went to the dark-suited men. We get 1 more choice. Again, it is titled with 3 question marks, and it'll appear... If you're on mobile, you might have to refresh. I don't know. It should appear. It'll have a little countdown timer. We get one more thing to do. Do you want to mingle with crowd? Do you want to speak to officer in the back of the room? Do you want to... woman on stage? Or do you want to leave and get a room? Get your votes in now. You did, Dice Chuck. What's it gonna be, chat? Do you want to mingle with the general crowd? Do you want to speak with the officer? Or do you want to talk to the woman on stage? Or do you just want to say, you know what? Forget this. I'm gonna go and find a bed. I'm tired and slightly seasick. Only ads. Get your votes in. 9 of you are voting. And welcome back. For any of you, so if you don't have a sub here, I can't control the ads. I have them turned down to the minimum least. Twitch will not let me turn down the ads any more than what it's already at. So I try not to push. I think it's 30 seconds every hour. It's at the bare minimum. All right, 7-2. We talked to the woman on stage. Pardon me, sorry. You make your way to the stage, navigating around the many guests in the dance hall. Your eyes lock firmly on the woman, and hers rise to meet yours. Hey, that was nice of you, Anonymous. And Dice Chuck, you have a ton of fun emotes open up to you now. If you take a look at the emotes on the channel, you should have a lot now open up to you. There's a lot on BTTV that will show up as well that are absolutely free. Anyone. You don't even have to be a follower or subscriber to access them. Alright, she rests her left hand on her hip as you come to stand at the foot of the stage. The old man behind her continues his inspections, either unaware or uncaring that you've come to distract them. The woman leans toward you over the edge of the stage. You can see her makeup has been painstakingly applied, despite her status as a recent widow. You clear your throat as you meet her gaze and promptly introduce yourself. She extends her hand to you formally. Well, aren't you a new face in town, she teases. We get those quite a bit here. No doubt you plan to bid on some of my late husband's things. Good for both of us, I say. Just be sure to give a good price for little old me, all right? She winks slyly at you. You realize now would be a good time to get some more information from this woman, who might be the most well-informed regarding your interests. She certainly seems like the flirty sort and would probably respond well to more of the same. After Fav, I need you to make a charm roll, exclamation point 1d100. We need a 15 or lower to charm the widow. She puts the fun in funerals. A 61 will not do it. Now, after Fav, you can accept failure. You can use a Fickle God's Favor and hopefully get a 1 or a 10, which would be take it back to 0. Or you can burn a tremendous amount of luck. I wouldn't suggest that. All right, roll 1d10 after Fav. You're looking for a 1 or a 10 on it. There's a 10 on it, so that brings a 61 to an ought 1. So there we go. After Fav, you had a line in mind, and you probably thought at the last moment, no, I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't say that. And you choose something else. Let's see what happens. Oh, you know what? We're in the auction now. Let's find kind of socialite sounding. We're not in the swamp anymore. What did I use before for this? I think it was Royal Court. Yeah, I guess that'll work. All right. Tony says it's Midsummer Night's Eve here in Sweden today. Got a lot of things to prepare for the celebrations, but I'll sit on you guys for a bit. Well, thank you for lurking. And if you take pictures of the celebrations and such, Tony, I'd love to see pictures of it in our Discord. Bring your celebrations, decorations, and events, and show them to us who don't get to celebrate in that way. All right, 43. You take her hand in yours. That might be a little loud still. Hold on. You take her hand in yours and bring it to your lips, keeping eye contact with her as you do so. She giggles and her smile grows wider as she regards you with interest. My, aren't you the charmer? If I weren't a widow, I'd be thrilled. But I still must mourn my husband, you understand. He was a stuffy old goat and obsessed with his studies. I have no problem selling his things, mind you, but that's because I need the money. A girl like me gets used to a certain standard of living, after all. But I can't very well go chasing after the first suitor who comes I can't very well go chasing after the first suitor who comes to replace him, no matter how fetching. She winks at you again and rests her hand on your arm and lowers her voice to a whisper. But perhaps you could join me for a drink later. I have a little bit set aside for good company. I won't tell if you don't. She seals the conversation with a final wink before lifting her hand and turning back to the stage and its hidden artifacts. Hi, Tonk? Tonka. No, it's not Tonka. Why do I keep glitching? It's the easiest thing, and I keep doubting myself. Tonk. Yeah, Tonk. All right, so I got it right. Trust my instincts. All right, this totally isn't awkward. All right, let's go, go, go. Hi, Scania. No murder hoboing yet. All right, we're now going to 35 as we had our 3 interactions. The murmuring of the crowd dies down, and people begin to gather around the stage as Amelia and the older gentleman call everyone to attention. The widow strides confidently to the front of the stage where the lights are centered. She flashes a broad smile at the crowd and begins to speak. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you all could make it tonight. As you all know, my husband recently passed, and, well... At this point, Amelia begins to tear up theatrically, so much so that her makeup begins to smear. She produces a handkerchief to dry her eyes before continuing. Well, I'm very upset. I miss my poor William very much, and I don't know what I'll do without him. and that's why I've brought you all here tonight. I hope you can find some use for his collection, and I know that I would be happy to see his things go to those who value them highly. I hope you'll show this poor widow a kindness by finding something you like. But now, let us begin. I'll leave the auctioning to Mr. Warren." With her opening statement complete, Amelia moves to stage left and allows the bespectacled old man, presumably Mr. Warren, to take center stage. He clears his throat before speaking. "Tonight we have 6 very ancient and very valuable items for sale from the estate of Professor William Harris. Though exceedingly strange, I have deemed these items to be authentic to the best of my ability. I have placed a ballot box, slips of paper, and a pencil on each of the 6 tables next to the item for sale. If you wish to bid on an item, simply write your name and the amount you are willing to pay for it on a slip. Then place it in the box. The item will be sold to the highest bidder. All of the proceeds will go to the wife of the deceased." With that, Mr. Warren moves to reveal the gathered items. Mr. Warren approaches the first table and removes the cloth covering it to reveal an odd pair of clay cylinders covered with strange etchings. They are small and seem quite fragile, with large cracks running down their sides. Mr. Warren proceeds to the next table and likewise uncovers the item in question. This one is significantly larger and more ornate. It appears to be some sort of altar or reliquary, heavily decorated with yellow-green gemstones. However, there is one similarity with the first item: the presence of the same strange written characters, though these ones seem to have been painted on. The old scholar turns to the next item in question and displays it for all to see: a decorated crown of solid bronze, wrought with the image of a Hindu god. The next item is certainly the most mundane: a large, thick, leather-bound journal that appears well-worn and beaten, with several loose papers jammed between the pages. Mr. Warren senses the confusion of some members of the crowd and clarifies that the notebook is the assembled personal works and studies of Professor Harris. The item that follows the journal is a well-preserved ceremonial robe of a Brahmin priest. The cloth is pure white. The last item is perhaps the strangest of all. It is a small statue or idol, presumably of one of the many deities of ancient India, made from a blue-green stone in the shape of a rather grotesque lizard-like creature. The craftsmanship is crude and gaudy, so much so that it appears fake. People begin moving among the items, looking them over, and conversing quietly. Make an appraise or archaeology roll. Scannion, I presume you want archaeology at 70%. Will you please roll a 1d100? Exclamation point 1d100. 32 will make it. You examine the items with a trained eye. The crown and ceremonial robe are obviously authentic and typical of what you would expect. They are in great condition and would certainly fetch a good price, though they are no rarer than any other antiquity. Likewise, Professor Harris's journal seems like it would be of value to a scholar, though a few delicate cursory page turns show that it contains personal accounts and travel logs, as well as historically relevant information. This is likely a good source of information on Professor Harris himself. However, the other items present are noticeably different. The altar and clay cylinders bear a similar script, and both show comparable signs of aging and wear. Given this, they are unlikely to be fabrications, but they are unlike more traditional finds from ancient India. A close inspection of the lizard idol leads you to believe it is likewise verifiably authentic. Though the workmanship is strange and unnatural and clearly nothing like anything you've seen from ancient India or elsewhere, it doesn't bear any signs of work from modern tools or influence from modern styles either. You notice that you're not the only one looking over the items of such interest. The monk appears to be closely scrutinizing the stranger items as well, and the dark-suited gentleman from earlier seem to have taken a liking to the curious idol. Apart from this, various other guests wander around the tables, occasionally fixing on one in particular. There are many guests and a fair number of bids being placed. If you would like to bid on any of the items, now is the time. You will be redirected to this entry after each choice, and you may choose to bid on any number of items. Please make each choice only once, and please note that each successful bid will lower your credit rating for future bids. What that will mean is we bid on an item and we will have to lower our credit rating, meaning that the next item we want, we will have less of a chance to successfully acquire. All right, I can only put 5 choices, but I'm going to open this up to you all. What would you like to buy first? We have cylinders, an altar, the crown or robe, the journal, or the idol. 1 minute. Vote, 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 vote. Get your votes in. Do it now. Up above. Less than a minute remains. Take a second out of your moment watching. What should we bid on first in this auction? What is the most important thing that you want the best chance to get? Yeah, Oni, you can. It's a poll up above in chat. You can vote in the poll. All of you watching, there's 28 of you. Get your votes in. Do it now. Half a second. Please, please, please. Not much time left. 13 of you have voted. That's awesome. We're up to 28 of you watching. 13 are voting. Let's get that participation up a little bit more. And there is some interest in the idol or altar. The journal, which I misspelled apparently in my haste. All right, the journal apparently is the first thing you all want to pursue. So this is what we're going to do. Let me take a quick break. I need to get up and stretch because we've been doing this for a little over an hour. I want to stretch, and when we come back, we are going to go place a bid on the journal and see what happens. Okay? Okay. So, let's, quick break, grab a snack, a drink, whatever, and I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes.